Hi there, and welcome to all of you life learners, and thanks for tuning in. Are you ready to take a plunge? Do you like to have contrast as you grow? Well, having yeses in your head will make you want to stay tuned today. So, good day to all of our YouTube viewers and our audio listeners. Thank you and welcome. This is episode 301 of the Business of Life Masterclass podcast here in season 8 of the show. So, for listeners and viewers both, we ask you to think about when was the last time you had a chance to do something really good for yourself? Since you know that Barb and I are all about creating and appreciating the way to grow and succeed, today's episode of the Business of Life Masterclass is on taking the plunge and getting real. So, hello again, everyone. It's Debbie Lundberg, Performance, Mindset, and Resilience Coach with Presenting Powerfully.
Barb Zant here, media sales leader and founder of the lifestyle brand and the blog Stay at Work Mom. So, Debbie, who is our guest that can show us ways to take on heat and cold aspects of life?
Yes, Barb. So she is an irreverent leader, innovator, and a disruptor who is fluent in sailor with a construction vocabulary and a trucker accent. Can't wait to hear all of this. Now, she founded Kodawari Studios Yoga and Body Work and Wellness in 2016. So, full 10 years there. She added sauna and cold plunge to Kodawari in 2021 and created a very special method for guiding people through contrast therapy, hence the name of the show. The success and stickiness of this method promoted her to co-open two sauna and cold plunge concepts in 2025. One of them is called Hot Box Cold Plunge, and that's in Seminole Heights here in Florida for those of you listening throughout the country and the world. And she opened that with Malia Warner. And she opened Revivery in West Chase, that's also here in Florida, everybody, with Trisha Will. So she has been our guide and our guru through the last few years doing hot sauna and cold plunge. So please welcome Annette Scott.
Ladies, you high energy honeys, thanks for bringing me on.
Welcome, Annette. We'd love to hear one thing not in your bio that Debbie just talked about that is interesting or cool, but it will just be a tease for right now, and we'll hear more about it later in our episode.
I didn't mention that I've delivered with about 60 women in just about any setting, and I've delivered babies. One of the things that I've done with, let's call it a side hustle, but it has way more weight to it than that. I have been a doula since 2002, and so for about 10 years, I was delivering babies with women, accompanying them into childbirth in just about everything, including a taxi, hospitals, everywhere but a field and or a tent. So I've delivered in water, I've delivered at home, I've delivered in a kitchen, I've delivered with people in hospitals, you name it, I've been there. I was in the back of a taxi with one woman in New York City. We made
You're
it
not
to the
giving away the
hospital.
story yet, are you, Annette?
We're
Huh?
going to
You're
tease
not
it.
giving away the story yet, are you?
No, but
Oh,
this is
okay.
a whole portion of my life that's not in that bio.
Well, we can't wait to hear the story. So we'll talk about what happened in that taxi. So more to that to follow. So Annette, you were invited on the Business of Life Masterclass podcast for your ability to make change and inspire others to do the same. Since you have listened to our podcast, please share briefly what specifically made you want to be on the Business of Life Masterclass.
I love how you bring what I might call disparate dots or ideas or threads together for other people to see the efficacy of small incremental change that affects big transformative outcomes.
I love that, bringing threads together. Thank you for the take on that on the Business of Life Masterclass podcast. But before Debbie gets started on our podcast four, and that is our 4 questions, what is one thing that you are excited about right now as you are leading your life and we're in the middle of 2026? Can you believe it?
Yeah, it's crazy that it's already April. The Super exciting thing for me is I am ramping up teaching the level one of or foundations of the method that Debbie and yourself have experienced at the Revivery with me. And in Q3, we'll be rolling out level two, which will advance and hone and refine the skills of people that have taken in and have embodied many times now through sessions level one foundations. So, this to me, accelerating the growth, personal development, and transmitting the mission is super exciting.
That is very exciting, and I know since you are excited about that next level, we are excited to hear what your walk up to life music would be. What's that song?
I would pick Odessa's This Version of You. It's a very positive song that confirms that you can choose how you want to be in this world. And when you make your choice, that's your truth.
Ooh, look
Yeah,
forward to
that
checking that out.
Yeah,
me too. We love it. With That's Your Truth. All right. Well, we've got a new song to listen to then. And maybe we've heard it before, but I don't know. All right. So, Annette, you know that we are moving into the Business of Life Masterclass podcast four. These are the four questions we ask every wonderful guest like you. And then we usually ask, are you ready? So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I figured you were ready. All right, number one, what time do you get up in the morning, and what is your morning routine that you believe gets your day started right?
I wake up somewhere between 6:45 and 7:15, which I know is a little different than you. You, Debbie, are out of the bed and running. I am a little bit of a slower waker. So I get up, I start a kettle, I put my dog outside to make peepees. I go right straight to the meditation mat for about 10 minutes. I transition through brushing my teeth and doing the things that, make me more palatable as a human, putting my contacts in, and then I make coffee. I use a vibe plate for 10 minutes after meditation to really move the lymph, to wake the mind and the body up. And then I also cold plunge for about 2 minutes in the morning. And then I do an extensive gratitude practice that I actually do live on Instagram. And that happens by 8:15. And so that 7:15 to 8:15 is me waking up and getting right and getting ready to really step into a mental space of gratitude. And then I'll do the gratitude and most likely head into a 9 o'clock CrossFit workout. And then I come out of that ready to lean into all the to-dos with a lot
Yes.
of gratitude and a lot of energy.
So what a good way to say it. Get right and get ready. That's good. Now sometimes I get to see those. So for our life learners, those are available because Annette's on Instagram and you can see them. And if you chime in while it's live, you'll often comment, which I appreciate. So all right, so that's an extensive, wonderful morning routine that you gave us. So thank you for all the details with the meditation. And we used to have a power plate, so I can appreciate the vibration as well. So number two, what's something other than this terrific way of getting right and getting ready that you believe if other people would add, now it doesn't even have to be in the morning, that if they
It,
would add as their extra umph, it would be something that they would benefit from as well.
Sleeping. So getting quality sleep. I get really emphatic and a little weird, and even let's say I might verge on some neuroses around getting 7.5 hours of solid quality sleep. I consistently hear from other people that they get six or they get 5.5, and I internally cringe for them because honestly, by virtue of all the science and my own experience, I'm a radically different, better, kinder, more capable person with quality sleep under my belt. And so it's not a morning routine, it's sleep hygiene, getting to bed, getting the sleep, getting up, and then taking that energy into your chosen priorities. Sleep
Mhm.
is the answer. It's the first foundational piece, and I'll stop there.
Okay. Well, it has changed, and we have been challenged. I used to be one of those, and I don't mind saying it. I would be 5 hours, 5.5, 6, and you have consistently said that. Now I'm at 7, and I do feel good at 7, and I'm hearing you say 7.5. I'm not ignoring that, but that was a challenge. That was a big challenge for me because I would just be stay in the bed and I forced myself to do it. And it wasn't natural at first at all. So thank you for that. And so I hope everybody else thinks about it. If you think you'll make it up, you really don't. You don't make it up.
You
And
don't. That's a fallacy, and you can't catch up on the weekends.
right, right. I learned that too. So thank you. All right, number 3, who or what has been the biggest influence on your life, your success personally, professionally, and your continued focus on making your life all that it is and the best that it can be? And really importantly, Annette, what have you done with that influence?
I have two answers to this. One of them is something that I didn't choose, and I'm just blessed to have had, which
Okay.
is I was brought up in a multi-generational home. So until I was 14, I lived with both my loving grandparents and both my loving parents. And that radically changed the foundation of how my mind understood what the world looked like. I knew that there was always someone around who cared for me, that gave a shit and wanted to show up for me. So this would be what I would call a consistent presence of a competent protector, someone
Mm-hmm.
that cared and would answer my, like, are you there for me? That happened for me until I was 14. And then when my grandparents moved into their own separate home, but the foundation was already laid. The second thing that I chose was having a mentor who happened to be a Buddhist, neurobiologist, hospice worker of 30 years. He died last year, and
Mm-hmm.
his impact was that safety is the prescription. Always. It's the answer, safety first, and safety in terms of how we treat one another.
Mm-hmm.
And this influence has radically impacted how I operate in the world. Nothing is achieved through harshness. You want to have a lasting impact, be clear, communicate, be kind, take care of yourself so that you're better able to be clear and kind. Your self-care is the way into that kindness. Because if you're in pain or you're tired or you're hungry or you're thirsty or you're lonely or you're cranky, you're going to be less kind. And
It's so true. It's so true.
our
And
lives are lived on the daily.
mhm.
So
And
daily.
and even though, part of your bio is you're fluent in sailor with construction and all this, it's it's not the words, it's the way. I was saying to Stacy and Sarah when we were running this morning that you were going to be on the show because I was wearing the Business of Life Masterclass tank top. And Sarah's been on the show and she's like, I love how Annette does, I love how that she does that. And so even though, and I hope this is okay to say, Annette, when I invite people and you're the guide, I say, listen, you're going to hear some language. It's
Oh
coming
yeah,
from a good place. I just like people to know so that selfishly, the self-care for me is so that I'm not tending to
triggered.
them while they're
Yep,
there.
yep.
And yet I'll tell them you're going to have a really great experience. So thank you because you have carried the safety and the awareness very clearly through to the way you carry yourself. And I'm sure Michael won't mind my saying this. He doesn't have any say in it right now. The first time we ever went, Barb and I went, Ryan Halo was on the show and
Yes.
she invited me and I said, can I bring Barb? And then poor Barb that night, I said, hey, we were going to something on a Thursday. I said, hey, Saturday, we can go to this. And then Michael got to go. And you said to Michael something like, let's see if you've got the, what's to do this. And so it's a fun way you can provide safety and still have humor. I think is the message that to make sure that people know it's not about being so protective that you're regimented into not having fun.
No, I say with great regularity, you asked me once about a mantra. I am very serious and I refuse to be grim.
Mhm.
And in this seriousness, I take things very seriously. In fact, I would say I see this life as a sacred thing that we're doing. That doesn't mean it has to be dry or brittle or empty of laughter at all. And in fact, this grimness that some people bring to a sense of I'm disciplined and thereby I'm grim. Um, my answer to that is kindly, comma, fuck off. I can't, just can't. Um, and so I know that's strong language, and for some people that's tough, and yet for me, it's my authentic self, and that's
Sure.
all I can give you.
Well, this rolls beautifully into our last question in the podcast for because you know that our series in the master classes we've held and the ones we will hold in the future, they focus on the positive and how to move forward in life. So, from your experiences and observations, Annette, what's something that if people would stop doing, it would be a positive for them?
Stop telling yourself that you'll sleep when you're dead. This thing of, this hustle and grind conversation. I can't adhere to it because it does dry you out and makes the juice of life almost non-existent. Uh, and then equally where you can, uh, I'm not saying this has to be done in its entirety, and you'll laugh because once upon a time I was known as a champion drinker. I was the life of the party. And now I can still be that, and I avoid alcohol, not singularly, but primarily because it makes a mess of my sleep. And so I just don't do it. And so if I tell you that I absolutely love sleeping and it's so important, I have to also comment, be mindful of when you choose to have some drinks because
Okay.
it does riotously disrupt sleeping patterns.
And and that wording is thoughtful too. Be mindful of when you have it. You're not saying, hey, nobody can. You're saying, be mindful of it. So thank you. It's
Yeah.
it's those kind of insights because of what you've lived and created that we're looking for. And it's fun to hear even more formally in this communication. So Barb, what have you got us doing? I'm guessing there's a lot.
Yes, thank you, and I'm super energized. And yes, I do have a lot of things on my list. So recently, we just did meditation at night, and so I'm absolutely going to do meditation in the morning. I downloaded the Calm app and subscribed because I love it. And the vibration plate, I did that one time, and I think that would be great. I'd love to do the cold plunge every day, so I'm looking forward to upcoming one we have done. And then I'm going to watch the Instagram and then sleep. Sleep is something that I am absolutely working on, and it is a work in progress for me. Music to my ears. I am also like 6:45 to 7:15 would be my sweet spot. So I would look forward to implementing that in a couple of days. And so I do have pages and pages of notes, but that is what I'm going to get started on. Debbie, your list might look a little different, but are you willing to implement a couple of those ideas? And maybe even we're already going to Koodari soon for hot not what we're doing. We're doing the
The
hot yoga
yoga
for
because Carrie,
Carrie's episode. Yes.
mhm.
And so maybe we could add another class. Like I think the sound machine. There's a couple of things I haven't
Oh,
tried yet.
there's so much at Kodawari. Yep.
Yes.
Lots to choose
This
from.
the sound now Rashad is bringing in the sound bowls at Revivery, and we do
Yep.
have Rashad and one coming up. So we will definitely figure out. I mean, I'm a
Yes.
huge Annette fan. Annette knows that. I watch the Instagram sessions when I don't have a client then. And so definitely we are I'm not I hope that's okay to say this, Annette. I put it out into the universe and I said to Annette and Trisha, I said, I hope it's okay. I'm putting it out in the universe for us to have a birthday ritual every month in 2026. And so far, we've been able to, which is terrific. So they're very
Debbie, you're
special.
welcome to double up, my friend. Put it
I,
We'd
out.
like to.
I said that to Barb yesterday. I said during June and during November, I believe we'll be able to do two or three. So
Bring
I'm,
it.
I'm so Barb, I commit to that. I have the list now. For those of you watching me on YouTube, they'll see I'm looking around. I keep a list of everybody and their birthdays and who wants to have a birthday ritual. And it is manual, it is not fancy, and I love it. So we have three in June. And see, my birthday's in November, so I was thinking maybe people would want to do a little extra. So yeah,
Maybe.
Barb, I am in.
Well, and I think the one coming up, we have like 15 people coming.
That's
16.
great.
Or I think, oh no, you're right. 15, 15. You're right.
So I am super excited about that. So Annette, before we wrap up, we would love to hear about the story. What you started to tell a story inside a taxi. So I didn't know you were a doula. So I'd love to hear more.
Well, the taxi experience was truly one of my best friends. And so I flew from Florida to New York City when she started her labor. I got to her home and realized we needed to go pretty much almost immediately because, of course, by the time I could get a flight, get on a flight, get to New York, get from the airport to her house, she was ready to go to the hospital. So we get in a taxi, and honestly, the taxi driver was pretty, he was very alert to both the road getting us to the hospital and what was going on in his back seat because she was laboring. And we got to the hospital she delivered in the next 2.5 hours. So we didn't quite give birth in the taxi, but it was this incredible experience of watching the taxi driver drive and watch us with like one eye on the road, one eye in the rear view. My friends making a lot of noise, as women need to, no problem with that. And yet it was amusing to be a part of this thing that, often you see on shows like, oh, we're going to give birth in the car. No, not really. And yet, man, was that taxi driver paying attention to that. So everything worked out. Healthy baby, who, by the way, I met for the first time since seeing him being born this past February. He's now a 14-year-old young man. And what a
Oh, that's
nice young
Wow.
man
awesome.
he is.
That's awesome. I just got the chills with that.
Thank you. Thanks for
That
letting
is
me share it.
that is really cool. Now, finally, Annette, we have just a quick comment. We have a couple minutes left. We'd love to hear a concept or a mantra. I know you have a mantra before we move on with our episode.
It would probably be kind and wash your behind.
Be kind and wash your behind. Well, we have to end on that, right? So I have no other comment, although I am being kind and I have washed my behind. So I'm feeling good about myself today. All
You're
right.
ready.
I'm ready. So thank you again. And the last thing, what is your walk off music?
Probably Grandmother's Sphere by East Forest.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. How about you, Barb?
Love it. I have not heard of that, but I love that we have two songs to look up and add
Yes.
to our playlist for everyone. Thanks so much, Annette, for coming on today.
Ladies, thank you for the gift and the privilege and honor to be with you.
Oh, we're thrilled that you were here. So please know, listeners, you can stay connected with Annette Scott on all social media under her name, Annette Scott, and importantly under Kodawari, Revivery, and Hotbox Cold Plunge. So check out that gratitude in the morning and all of the specials and the special events that they have. Similarly, you can follow Barb and me on Instagram and Facebook at the Business of Life Masterclass. Barb is the Stay at Work Mom, and I'm Debbie Lundberg most places.
You like the
Awesome.
insights that you heard, please rate us 5 stars because we are committed to providing you with 5-star guests just like Annette. Please provide us feedback. We absolutely implement it, and stay tuned for our follow through show next week when we talk about what we did to implement Annette's ideas. So thank you for joining us for this episode of the Business of Life Masterclass, the podcast for successful people embracing every chance to accomplish and experience all you can in business and in life.
Listen, choose, do. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
y'all.
If you have ever thought, gosh, I'd like a collaborator, I wonder what else I could do, it's likely that the answer is a coach. Hi, I'm Debbie Lundberg, Performance and Mindset Coach with Presenting Powerfully. And if you would like confidential coaching to drive you to the next idea, the next role, or even to figure out your own brand, please reach out to us at Presenting Powerfully, 813-494-4438. Thank you.